It's Off the Hook, coming at you live from Metropolis Square. Huh? Let's see here. This just in! The great Zapfish has disappeared! There's more! Pop superstar Callie of the Squid Sisters has gone missing! Okay, I'll put together a search party. But shouldn't we form a search party or something? Don't get cooked, stay off the hook. The Octarians. Hey, you showed up. As soon as I saw you aimlessly wandering around the square, I knew you were the one. I'm Marie. I know you're probably a bit starstruck, but I need you to get over it. Yes, I'm that Marie, you know, from the Squid Sisters. Wait, you never heard of me? For eel? Well, you obviously aren't very cultured, but you'll have to do. See, I've got a little thing I need some help with. By now, you've probably heard that the great Zapfish that powers Metropolis Square is missing. Well, it's not just missing, it's been squidnapped by the Octarian menace. And how do I know this? Well, on the surface, I may just look like an absurdly talented pop star. But in truth, I'm Agent 2 of the new Squid Break Splatoon, a secret society of heroes who saved the world from Octarians. Now, I've been trying to keep an eye on the Octarians in my downtime, but I'm a busy girl. So I need you to go get the great Zapfish back from those slimy Octarians. What do you say? Are you in? You think you're cool? Sharks call me cold-blooded, but you can call me Shiver. Only we may loot here. Hate to interrupt, Fry, but have you looked around? We've hit the jackpot! Who knew this was here? All this time, treasure was just sitting under the crater. Now it's ours for the taking. Not that anyone asked, but I'm over this conversation. The treasure is ours. I'd wish you luck, but I don't want to. After the treasure, you have excellent taste. But you're too delicate to claim this particular item, don't you agree? Ah, I see. The cold shoulder routine. Yes, you're pretty wicked after all. Looks like we'll have to teach you some manners. Join me, Master Mega! Pedal to the Megalodon! Five points to a pentagram. 5 portents of doom. 5 siblings stood abreast. 5 gods and 1 tomb. 5 becomes 4, becomes 3, becomes 2, becomes 1, becomes nothing. 5 becomes 4, becomes 3, becomes 2, becomes 1, becomes nothing. Calamar was always frightened of the red crown. Yes, fear made a coward of him. My door is the next to be knocked upon. Knock, knock, the lamb comes to raise. End of days, end of days. He waits by the rocks of the darkened sea, at the foot of the long, sudden drop, within the maw of pointed teeth beasts, the stutter of the heart, then stopped. He was the fifth bishop of the old faith, our brother, the one who waits. Back then, he was known by the name Narinder, but as millennia wore on, he grew discontent with his role. He began to question. He was gluttonous in his ambition, and in my imprudence I loved him. For it I lost my mind. For it he lost his freedom. Can you fathom such betrayal, lamb? Of your own turned against you. Would you like to find out? He was the fifth bishop of the old faith, our brother, the one who waits. Back then, he was known by the name Narinder. I am not what I once was, though no longer wise. I am no fool. I know the end draws near. I can take some comfort in confession. The blame hangs heavy round my neck. I introduced him to ideas of change, for my domain is knowledge, and it is ever evolving. An organic state of being for myself, but for him, most unnatural. Death cannot flow backward. It was I who had him chained, forced into subjugation by the four of us, subjugate as you too soon shall be. Make peace, bow to me, lamb. Have you thought of what awaits you once your task is completed? What is to become of you? The lamb is, after all, the sacrificial beast, bred to slaughter. If I cannot stop you, then I can at least prepare you for the suffering to come. He was the fifth bishop of the old faith, our brother, the one who waits. Back then he was known by the name Narinder. I envy you not. While you may yet kill me, still I would not trade places. It is time to draw this ugly business to a close. He waits at the point of the sharpened blade, the fate that cannot be outrun. He waits in the eye of the raging storm, at the end of the long day done. 5 becomes nothing. Nothing at all. The duty I owe to my brethren cannot be shirked. My temple awaits. He of havoc, he of blight, she of hunger, they of might. 5 becomes 4, becomes 3, becomes 2, becomes 1, becomes nothing. So it is true. The red crown sits upon the brow of another. It matters not. We need not bother Shamura with this. Deal with it, brother. The bishops, my family, have they not suffered enough? Have I not suffered enough? We fought, pathetic vessel. We bled, we grieved, and yet the red crown wants more. Well, no more. Pathetic, sniveling, vile puppet to the red crown. You have felled the youngest of us. We are the bishops of the old faith. We protect against heresies such as yours. We are the guardians of the true word, and we will not tolerate such blasphemy. Your sins are many, and that your loyal followers must suffer. They shall starve. Shamura, we do not wish to bother you, but... Shamura, rest. We will deal with this, won't we, Calamar? You there, vessel of the red crown, bow to me or you will regret it. It was not so long ago that we cast out the red crown. A mere 1,000 or so years. The heresy it preached could not be tolerated, such noxious ideals. It could not be allowed. For this most damning of sins, the retribution must be slow and painful. I cast a famine upon your cult, and with greed and ambition unchecked, it drew godly blood. The one you serve, that monster we have put in chains, will not be satisfied until you have killed all 4 of us. You may have killed my brother Leshy, but you will not kill me, and you will not get close to the other bishops of the old faith. We are far older and more powerful than dear brother Leshy was. I will not suffer the same fate as Leshy. Find me in my temple. You will join your kin in slaughter. Finally, I have been looking forward to this. Make your peace, creature. You will not be leaving this place. Eons agone, these lands were rife with gods and their adherents. What befell this pantheon? Alas, 'tis the nature of beasts to forget, and of gods to be forgotten. Mayhap they left, mayhap they slept, mayhap they devoured, and were devoured in turn. Those few who remain spread roots, spun webs, molded this world to meet them in theirs. 'Twere a land of many gods once, hundreds. Now, hapless Leshy, youngest of the 5, 'twas his eyes he lost. Temperamental Hecate, with her throat cut neat. Cowardly Calamar's ears torn from his head. And Shamura, once the brightest of the 5, till their skull was split. See no evil, speak not, hear nothing, and think none. The one who waits made it so. He was unlike the rest of his kin, while others dealt with flux, chaos, famine, pestilence, war, things in which their constancy must transpose, and yet he was the inevitable, the obstinate and irresistible, the one who waits. Truly peculiar, 'twould then seem, has appetency to invite the novel and the new, break ancient vow and primordial bond alike. Traditions stagnate and appetites augment, nonetheless. Doubt tears faith asunder. Bonds of familial duty turned instead to chains, most voracious of appetites, curbed and contained. most infectious of ideas, cut off and cauterized before given chance to rot and spread. Cruel, verily. Alas, what other recourse was given? How does one kill death? Alas, one cannot. Winds of change blow, dost thou sense it? Around us, the world creaks and turns. Afore, it stood immobile, motionless centuries grow rust. Now Leshy hath fallen, and hereupon the inhabitants of this land begin their fight anew to resume power. Ye shall not find them so easily dispatched again. Another bishop struck down. Hecate ruled for an aeon, afeared by none, her dominion being a famine. Her peons, now freed, are ravenous in their appetites. Tread warily, lest thou be predated upon. Although a renowned recreant among his peerage, Calamar was masterful in the repression of his underlings through ague. Freed of plague, the creatures of Anchor Deep strike with renewed vigor. Heed caution as thou travel therewith. Shamura, now smited, since time immemorial has their presence weighed heavy upon the beasts within. Their worshippers doth be well versed in the art of war-making. Prithee, move with care. Sharp teeth doth not equate to quick death.